Hi, also welcome to the day five review of the Gabba test, and it was a pretty. It was not a full day match, a full day session today. Like I think we hardly got one session. It was mainly uh, rain and everything, so we hardly got much match. But however, in the limited time we saw Australia going for the trying to score runs, and overall they lost a few wickets. I think 89 for 7 they were initially. So at the end of the day, as we discussed with Pranav yesterday, so India was set a target around 250 plus with around 50 plus overs. So if there was a full day's game today, if the rain was not there, then maybe I would still put Australia ahead given the conditions and everything. But India did have an outside chance to maybe do us something special because Rishabh Pant was due some runs and Jaiswal and everyone. So it could have been an exciting finish, but however, like Rain had other plans. So I've got a full house here today. Pranav and Rishabh both joining. So overall, let me share my perspective first, then I will open up to you guys. So I think overall, this test match heading to MCG 1-1 is something before the start of the series. I don't think Indian fans had much hope. We were all thinking like 4-1, 3-1 kind of a scoreline, even 5-0 to be honest, in Australia's favor, and rightly so because we did very poorly in the New Zealand home series. So I think 1-1, given the first three major tests, the major venues are gone. I think India has a very good chance to actually win this series now because I think Sydney also has a rain threat. I think MCG is the only pitch. It is teaming conditions will be there MCG, but still India has decent victories over there, and they know how to play well. But Scott Boland will be another handful as well. I think that might be a blessing in disguise for Australia. So overall, as of now, India team does not fill me with a lot of confidence to win the series, but obviously better than what we were at the start of the Gabba test. So yeah, so over to you. So maybe Rishabh can start. So what's your take on this match overall, and how do you think we are heading ahead?
So this game was more about rains than cricket. So we had a full day of rain and a little bit of cricket in between. So there's more to talk about rain than about cricket. But whatever cricket we saw, right, it was good. I mean, even on the day five, you were speaking about India having an outside chance. What was good to see was that in the very first over, Stark bowling to Jaiswal, and he played a similar shot, but this time not in
Great,
the
yeah.
hands of the mid wicket fielder, but between the gap, and he ran a couple of runs. So that shot actually gave me a little bit of confidence that okay, these guys have repaired done some repairing and come up with a plan. So basis that, I think it was a good wake up call going into the MCG game. It didn't really start off when the entire day goes off by rain. You know that you're looking forward to a draw, but at one point when you are chasing a target of 400 plus to put down, and you are already like 40 or 50 for four, definitely there will be hiccups. But the way the lower order bailed us out, as we have been seeing for quite some time, gave some hope. But I think it's high time now that the top order also needs to step up if we have to make a comeback or sort of win this series, because for now we are still playing the catch up game against Australia. But if we want to overpower them and make them fall behind us, it's the top order who will have to step up. So overall, a good test to take some positives and fill some notes to take towards the next two. But definitely, I mean, happy with the draw. That's what we all expected.
Yeah. So Pranav, so do you think like India takes like after the Adelaide test and this after the end of this test match, do you think what has changed? I feel there is a momentum shift somewhere. I mean, maybe not the performances with the bat so much, but overall, I think given the attitude and how we avoided the follow on, I think that can be a series defining moment because cricket is a very momentum based sport. We all know that. We also last year, last not last year, the last time around, India managed to somehow draw the Sydney test, and then we did the unthinkable at Gabba. So do you think such a scenario is possible? So overall, what are your like positives and negatives? Everything over to you.
I think cricket is a funny game. If you actually put it in plain simple words, cricket is a very funny game. Uh, if I have to put it very simply, we drew an SCG and we did something special in Gabba. We have drawn Gabba. What next? God alone knows. But uh, one thing that stood out for me is the second innings bowling because when you have conceded a lead of 185, it's very easy to bowl wayward and give away more runs, especially when you know that Australia are going to come all guns blazing and the forecast is like Very,
Hmm.
very rare.
Right.
But if you see the scorecard 89 for 7, you might think, oh, Australia lost 7 wickets because of scrolling. Slogging. Uh, but it's not actually because of that. It's because of some good bowling. I think Kawaja, McSweeney, Steve Smith, Travis Head, all 4 wickets were good bowling wickets. Uh, they had their plans, and I think this is what makes this team a little different because they want to correct, they want to put up a better show than what they did in the first innings. And what stands out for me is the plans to Travis Head because you see that they stuck to over the wicket, but they didn't give him enough room to free his hands out, which is what makes it very interesting. Obviously, Siraj coming in a little bit of form. Obviously, he was hit, but then that gives a little more confidence to the bowling lineup where you could have some breathing space for somebody like Bumrah because Bumrah was brought again and then he took out Pat Cummins. Um, Overall, it's a good test. Momentum is with Australia, India, I don't know. But I'd like to say India, obviously, because we all support India. But Scott Boland has excellent figures in MCG. It's like his backyard. So he's waiting for us instead of Josh Hazelwood, would have anyways troubled us. But what I would like to see is better application from numbers 3, 4, 5, and 6 because 1 and 2 have showed a little bit of application.
Right. Yeah.
Gill, Kohli, Pant, and Rohit Sharma. Assuming that this is what will go forward. Um, if they show a little bit of application, we could. So if you look at Steve Smith's press conference a couple of days back, uh, the day when he scored his 100, he said that McSweeney, Khawaja, and Labuschagne playing 30 balls each or 50 balls each actually helped him score runs. So that's in total 150 balls, which is around 30, 32 overs, or if not less, around 25, 26 overs to be correct with my maths. But that shows that once the ball is stopped, you can score runs. It also showed up when India was batting, right? Because when Rohit got out, it was around 23rd, 24th over. Jadeja and KL Rahul played it a little more like patiently, and then they started getting more runs. So that's the mantra that they have to apply, that they don't have to attack from ball one. Yes, definitely put the bad balls away, but you don't have to attack from ball one. You need to ensure that you're leaving enough balls outside the off stump because I don't know if I'm a batting coach or someone, but when you're taking, if you look at KL Rahul, he takes a off stump guard and he's standing on off and middle.
Right.
Now that exposes LBW risk. But in Australia, with the bounce, there's no LBW risk. So basically, whatever you're seeing with your right eye, you're able to gauge that you want to leave that ball off a length. That's what he does well, right? Because if I'm a right-hand batsman, I'm just leaving my ball close to the body, so it
Right.
doesn't take the edge. Now, with the likes of Rohit or Gill, they take middle and leg guard. I'm not asking them to change their guard. Obviously, I'm nobody to tell them to change their guard, but just the sort of application that you want to see from key batters, right? Because these are key batters who want to score runs, who want to get back to form. Because these two tests have a lot to say on what your WTC final spot looks like. Because on the same day, South Africa plays Pakistan. If South Africa manage to beat Pakistan in any of the one tests, they have their spot booked in the final. Then, if India managed to beat Australia in Melbourne, Sri Lanka has to beat Australia at least in one test or draw one test so that India has a foot in the final. So you're depending on other results as well. With all these scenarios in mind, you just have to bat well. That's all. It's very simple. You don't have to try anything fancy. Just bat well, score runs, not even score runs, bat balls, bat time. Runs will automatically come. I don't have to teach this all to any of the fans or the batters. But what I'm trying to say here is if you bat time, runs will come because you do have that attacking mindset of scoring runs. But
Right.
once you see off that new ball, you will have enough runs and enough time in the bank because first innings totals are always important because that'll dictate the terms of the game.
Fair enough. So I believe that I think that's the template in Australia as well. I think Rahul also said, Steve Smith also said in a press conference that like the first 25, 30 overs you have to give it to the bowlers, then it gets easier. Until and unless it's a very, very spicy pitch, I don't think that's gonna be the case at MCG or SCG anyone
No,
venue.
look, if you look at uh, both batting sides are fragile. So if you give them a green mamba like what you get in Mount Maunganui, for example, with a 16 grass, you will get 54 allowed both sides
True,
because
true,
it is not going to take them anywhere because you don't have runs from Labuschagne, you don't have runs from Khawaja, you don't have runs from McSweeney. So almost if you look at all the three tests, you have a consistent pattern that both teams are 15 for 3. So you won't get a green surface at all. So you don't have to worry about that part. But at the same time, what you need to think about is how do you leave balls? Because look what KL Rahul is doing again. He's just not leaving his bat out.
true.
He's just keeping it close to his body like a baby that it just passes away. So how do you breach that defense is up to the bowler. So as a batter, what you have to do is if a bowler is having a plan against you, you have to make them switch to plan B. If you're able to do that, then you can get more runs. And that's what Travis Head does so well because they bowl them the short ball, he scores runs, the field opens up, then he milks singles. So yeah, I mean obviously enough of masterclass, but that's what I'm trying to say that you bat well, you bat deep, you win the test match. It's
True.
that simple.
And I feel the major difference, but if you look at the Indian and Australian batting, I think the main difference is Travis Head mainly. Because if Rishabh Pant would have fired the way maybe Travis Head has fired in this series, as of now, I think the batting difference, even in the two test matches, would have been a lot less. But I think like Mitchell Marsh and everyone, even the Mitchell Marsh is out of form. He does not look that good. And I think Travis Head is the main wicket in MCG as well. And as the top order is also a bit out of form. So Rishabh, so heading into MCG, so currently, if we are talking about the two batting sides, I think Australia has the edge in the bowling because they pack like a hunt, like together like the Boland is coming back and Cummins, Stark. So I think their bowling will be stronger than India. I think that's given. But what do you think? Like, what do you say happens in MCG? Do you see India like playing well over there? Like, or do you feel Australia has just enough in their tank?
See, the Australian bowlers, we always know what's up against you, right? It's not that something's coming out of syllabus. We have been seeing the same bowlers bowl day in and day out for years, so you know what to expect. It's just that on the day of the wicket, you look at how the 22 yards look and then decide, right? In these few games, they've seen India batting first, and that is when the downfall sort of starts. So maybe if you can put Australia into bat, let them put a score on board, make you the best possible use of the moisture on day one, fresh wicket. Try to exploit that because if you compare the bowlers, definitely in terms of wickets, you might say that the Australian bowlers are good. But if you look at quality, it's more of like for like, right? Somebody like Stark moves the ball both ways. We have Bumrah who does that. Pat Cummins who hits the pitch hard. We have Siraj who does that. Scott Boland again, bowling that similar or consistent line and length and getting some lateral movement. We have Akashdeep who can do that as well with a little bit more movement across or off the seam as well. So I think bowling, it's more of just that they have experience and they've played for years. That's
Right.
why we are talking about them. Otherwise, it's common. Uh, it's about the batters who I think need time to settle down. If Australia bats first, as an Indian batter, you get to see what the Australians are doing, so you can take notes. Plus, you already know how the wicket is playing, and then you can pan out your strategies as you go into session by session on how the wicket plays. So I think the fact of visualization and what these sports persons speak about, right? They have to actually have that visualization that let Australia bat first, see what they are doing, and then visualize yourself doing that when you come out to bat. So I think, I mean, that's what I think, that maybe India can try to bat second in the.
Okay.
I mean, if they win the toss, obviously. But if you are put into bat first, you have no option. You have to grind it out, right? And that's what you're preparing for. I mean, you know that is what you're gonna get in Australia. You prepare yourself mentally. These guys have the ability, and they have the privilege of having all these coaches around, and all these kookaburra balls to practice. That's what you do in the nets. We compared the bowlers, so you are getting sort of like for like practice for the bowlers. Obviously, the quality and talent and all of that is different thing, but you're at least getting something similar to what you can expect out there in the middle. So you just have to prepare yourself, and like Pranav mentioned, it's just about the application. You look at KL Rahul, right? Pranav spoke about leaving the ball outside off. When you look at it, it looks a very odd technique, because all what we are taught from our childhood is take your front foot to the pitch of the
Yeah, I think
delivery,
that.
let the bat up, and let the ball pass. But KL Rahul has a very different technique. He just sticks his bat in his body and he lets it pass. So if you ask from the textbook cricket, it's like, no, this is wrong, but it's working for him, right? He's getting runs. So all the players
Right.
need to just find out what works for them, get out of the mindset of technique and all of that, and just go out there and play a natural game. Like Rohit Sharma today mentioned in the press conference that yes, he's not getting runs, but inside he's feeling good. And that's what you ultimately need, right? If the player says that from inside he's confident, he's feeling good, you know that a big inning is just around the corner. One good shot can just put you in that right space of mind, and you can add on to that and get to 100, 150 very easily. And that's the quality these players have. So I think it's just about decluttering yourself, switching off from everything, just applying yourself thoughtfully in terms of what you want to do there and not what the pitch requires you to do. It's now time that the players go back to their strength rather than trying to adapt to the conditions and all of that.
Yeah. So I feel, yeah, I agreed with you. So I think I think in MCG, I think Rishabh Pant, when he comes out to bat, I just hope that it is around the 25th, 30th over and not in the first 10 overs, because that's how I think we are losing an X factor if we are pushing Rishabh Pant because of a mini batting collapse in the top order. I think he can be the Travis head for our side perfectly well. So overall, so let's see how that goes, but that's for the MCG preview. But I think before we cut off this recording, like I think we are a bit short on time, but still I want to like a quick one. So I think the main talking point has to be Ravichandran Ashwin's retirement. I mean the sudden retirement, which I think we Pranav. I think in September or October, I don't remember. I think we kind of discussed. You kind of said that it
before the
could be the
Bangladesh
last
series.
one. Yeah, so viewers can
Yeah,
go back and check that video as well. So overall, I think it was given that, so, like, because the transition will be faster now. I think the time is up for not only Ravichandran Ashwin but many other senior players also will slowly retire and make place for newer sides. But given the timing of his retirement in the middle of the series, and so I think he's a legend of the game. So that's a separate. We can do a tribute video to him. But today I'm just going to talk about the timing and what impact in the series will it have, if any? And overall, Rishabh, you can go ahead. So Ashwin's retirement.
I felt it came at the wrong time. I mean, we all talk about Ashwin as someone who does really well at home, but not really that or has that sort of an impact overseas. If you see over the years, he's not got enough chances overseas because of the kind of balance we try to have. Whenever we're playing overseas, we always try to have a batting heavy side, and naturally somebody like a Jadeja just picks over him when it comes to batting, and that's why Ashwin has to miss out on a lot of games. But whenever he's got chances, even in the pink ball test, if you see, he didn't get wickets, but he didn't leak runs as well. So he was doing his job of keeping things tight, building pressure from one end. So I think he's the kind of bowler you need going into a tough series like this. I would have expected, or I would have wanted him to be till the end of the series, because now actually it's that crunch time. Two more tests to go. You need to win both of them, sort of, to look at the bigger picture, the World Test Championship. So you need somebody like a Ravichandran Ashwin. You need those brains. You need that experience out there in the middle. So him quitting in the middle of the series is definitely surprising, disappointing also. But we've also been reading speculations about some things not being right in the change room and all of that. It's not the right place to comment on that. But whatever it is, I think we'll miss Ravichandran Ashwin's brains more than his bowling and batting. I think the kind of experience, the kind of, you know, he's aggressive, yet he's gentle and he's calm. Be it things like those Mankad incidents and be it that celebration. You can see his aggression, but he never lets it go overboard. He keeps himself in check, and he's always thinking, right? That's what you need in a game of sport which is so fast, right? You need someone who's on his toes. That street smart word which you use actually suits Ravichandran Ashwin. So more than his bowling, more than his batting, it is his brains which I feel that India will miss. And yeah, it's a very big miss. Not sure that how soon we will be able to find a bowler, or rather an all-round cricketer of the ability of Ravichandran Ashwin.
Yeah, and I just feel that I heard in the press conference he's going back home too. I just hope that
Yes.
maybe he would have,
He's already left.
even if he would not have played the remaining test matches, maybe he could have just stayed with the team and provided guidance to the Washington Sundar and other leg
He's
spinners.
already on his way back.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
He's
Yeah,
already on his way back to India.
That's add
Before I get
that
to
adds
Ashwin,
fuel to fire, right? That maybe there is
yeah,
something not right, and all of those.
yeah. I mean, he's just that he doesn't want the focus on him at all, and it's slightly so. But before I get to Ashwin a bit, um, about what sort of things that we can expect in MCG is something that I've always felt. And if you look at the game that happened today in BPL, I'm specifically bringing this topic up because there is 7 day gap between today and the next test. Uh, because of the BBL game, it's eventually 6 days. So in 6 days, what sort of wicket can you expect? I mean, obviously, we are not scientists or pitch
right.
curators to guess what sort of wickets you get. But if you look at the conditions, what has transpired, probably it's a bad first wicket, but then the rest is up to the curators to what we get to see X minus 1 day, X minus 2 days, etc. On Ashwin, I think the communication must have come that look, in the next 12 months, we're playing 70% of cricket overseas. Probably you're not looking at you as an option. I mean, fair enough, because Sundar is performing well. There is Akshar Patel who's not selected for this tour. There is Jadeja, there is Kuldeep Yadav. So you have plenty of options up your arsenal. Obviously, he'll be a very big miss in the home series, but I probably don't know how should I describe, because it's far more emotional than what it seems, because I saw the video posted by BCCI where he uh, very spoke something, but it was very emotional. There were people like Jaiswal and Gill about to cry. Um, Ashwin himself cried a bit. We saw that video with Kohli. About the timing, I think, yeah, I mean, he's already decided that in Perth. So I don't know, maybe mental games, maybe something that he wanted to replicate, or he can only tell us better once he's back, once he's settled down. But I'm pretty sure there must have been so much thought behind it, because Ashwin is not someone who takes impulsive decisions. He's a thoughtful cricketer. He I'm very excited about what unfolds after this
True.
era as a cricketer, because I'm a big fan of his brains, as Rishabh rightly alluded to. Could be stories around the world of cricket. You can keep on talking about the sort of content that he does. He started it as a pleasure, but now all of us are enjoying it. I really hope that somewhere in the Indian cricket he has a place in the future, because he's an asset that you can't let go of. Maybe in the NCA or somewhere,
Exactly.
maybe as a spin consultant. I don't know. I mean, you just want to see him involved with Indian cricket. He's been around for a decade and a half, perhaps. So salute. I mean, I've already posted a video around uh, the tribute. We can do a separate video.
Yeah.
I can just keep on talking about Ashwin. I can keep on talking about Ashwin. It's a treasure that I have a signed ball of his with me. I'll cherish it for my life. Perhaps wish we get to meet him someday, but that's another discussion. But good. good luck to him because I can't say more because I don't know what to say perhaps because it's a big loss obviously. Uh, Jadeja, Ashwin, Chennai, you'll have to go there and watch them now. That's pretty sad. Maybe you deserve the home test.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what Ashwin's, I think now with Washington, Sundar and Jadeja is also like will be in the home season. So Jadeja, I hope plays a few more
You
seasons
never know.
because
You
I
might see
think
them in Melbourne, right? You might
yeah,
say I'll drop Akashdeep and play Washington Sundar. Who knows? Because
maybe I
there's a
think
bit of moisture.
we might see them together in Sydney more than Melbourne. I feel Melbourne, I think it will be more of a seamer
Who
friendly. Who
knows?
knows? But anyway, so it can be like anyways, we will see them together. That's a given. So when is a matter of time. So, and I think Washington
Yeah.
Sundar has huge shoes to fill right now. I think interested to see. I think it was a right decision, but maybe how the manner in which it happened suddenly in the middle of a series without a farewell kind of a test. I think that is what something which maybe like is a
He's following MS's footsteps, so can't blame him
yeah,
at
yeah,
all. He's going back to the same place. I mean, a decade before MS retired after the Melbourne Test, after saving the Melbourne Test, Ashwin played for CSK last in 2015. Now, a decade later, Ashwin retires, and in 2025, again a decade later, Ashwin is back to CSK. So life has come full circle for him.
true man.
Best wishes, but
Yeah,
it's a big loss. That's all I can say.
yes. So that's all. So all I can say is that BGT has come back. The people
Peaked.
were saying we are
It
missing the
has peaked.
yeah, yeah. People were saying it is missing the hype and stuff. I think we have this after this test match. We are totally into it, like with all the retirements also and everything. A lot of it has spiced up a lot. So excited to see how MCG and STG goes. So yeah, thanks to the viewers for watching this show. And any last words from any of you, or we can wrap up.
Like after we spoke about Ashwin's retirement, no words.
True, that's a fitting
Yeah, I
way to
mean,
end it. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's just that how NCG unfolds. If this retirement fuels something, be incredible, right? Because Ashwin is just an avid cricket fan. I don't think he'll stop watching cricket or do anything
true,
around
true.
cricket. Maybe if he brings a preview episode before NCG, who knows?
Yeah, yeah. Cool. So we will be back again with the preview of MCG. So thanks all for watching. Do let us know what are your favorite Ashwin moments like throughout his career. Like overall, like there are plenty to think of, but do share us yours. And what do you take away from India's 1-1 draw? Like the series at 1-1, who do you think has the upper hand going into MCG? So yeah, thanks all for watching. If you like, please do subscribe and share with your friends and family, and can follow us on Twitter and Instagram as well. In the description, I will share the links and everything. So yeah, bye.
Bye.